Hey, what's up guys? GFXLab, and you are listening to Minecraft. Minecraft is spelled Mindcraft. It's because it's my series, the series that I created. I didn't misspell it on purpose or anything like that. I'm not trolling. That's just the way I spell my series of what I do here with this game. And I think that it's kind of funny, the story behind Minecraft. The reason why I made it called Minecraft, like the way I spell it, is because I know a lot of people, when they first heard the term, they totally misspelled it. And I figured, like, if there are people out there who are new to the game and they don't know too much about Minecraft, they would misspell it and they would accidentally run into my videos. So that was kind of the reason why I made it Minecraft to begin with. And then I started talking a lot more about, like, things that I had in mind, like philosophies, just ideas and thoughts, and just things that I thought, were interesting to listen to, as far as just, being able to turn on a video and listen to it, sort of like a podcast, but it's just me, so it's not really a podcast. And I've only been on one podcast really, and I just think that there's just too much going on. There's just too many people there's too many chefs in the kitchen. And I figured, and it was also a way that I could record some of my thoughts at the time, so that way in the future when I come back to listen to these videos, I can say, like, oh man, I was either really dumb or I was really awesome when I was that age, or when I was making these videos, I could re-experience those emotions and maybe learn something new, maybe experience something new from even just listening to what I say. And sometimes when I re-listen to some of these videos, I start to think, like, wow, like, man, like, at that time I didn't know anything. Or sometimes I say, like, what was I talking about? How did I know that? Or I surprise myself sometimes when I'm just spewing off whatever random thought comes to my head. And it does help me a lot to understand myself, and it helps me, and the fact that it's growing more and more on my channel, that a lot of people are watching this. Actually, in November, there was a lot more people. I'm known for Call of Duty videos, Call of Duty games, Call of Duty songs. Like, that's what my channel started out on. And the fact that at one point, this, before Black Ops came out, this was actually destroying all the views and all the the statistics on my channel, and it was becoming the most favorable thing on my channel. And I kind of understand that now. I kind of understand, like, why it is like that. It's because it's complete. It's like it's an actual series that people can listen to and enjoy, and it's not just a it's not just like something that that people won't understand if they're not paying close attention. Because I know, like, for instance, when I make, like, references to Call of Duty, there's a lot of times I'll make references to people who know about the game, but there's a lot of times that I make a reference to something in the game and people just don't understand. And that's something I'm starting to learn myself, as far as, like, a designer, and as far as just, my profession. My profession is, I am a graphic designer, so I'm starting to learn UI and UX design, or UI UX theories, or philosophies, or whatever. UI and UX is user interface, and UX is user experience. And user experience is basically like a website, the experience that the user is going to get from from whatever you've built. User interface is the design behind that theory. Like, it's the execution of your user experience ideas. Like, first you build your plan out as far as, like, what you want whatever your website is, or whatever you're building. Like, even if it's food, like, if you are making sushi, I watched this video, this guy who makes sushi, and he'll place the sushi on certain sides of the plate, just so that I need to get some stone. And I found some coal. Nice. But and there is a creeper. Oh my god. Anyway, Let me see if I can get these guys first. Blow them up. I gotta use my axe. Oh, you got him. I'm gonna die. And I wasted my I don't know, do I have enough time? I just had to eat this raw pork chop. That wasn't anything. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do this. Let's see if I can do this. Gotta save all these things. Don't have any wood. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Alright. Let's see if I can. I should probably make a sword too, so that way I can survive. Anyway, go back to the idea I was talking about. As far as like user interface, user design goes, and what I was going on that tangent was that hold on, gotta take this with me. Oh man, there's another one. I'm gonna die. I've got to collect this real quick. Let's see, what can I do? I can create a stove and try and really quick get my food. I don't have any stone. Oh man. See, it's so hard to make these episodes because sometimes I have to concentrate, especially in the beginning when I start making stuff. But anyway, okay, so user interface design. What I was talking about was that I want to get to the concept that you have to make things, especially when you're on YouTube, you have to make things that are really easy for people to understand. You have to like think like a caveman pretty much, because some people literally are cavemen. Like you have to realize that not everyone's gonna understand what you're talking about. Not everyone's gonna enjoy what you enjoy. Not everyone's gonna even understand. Oh. And I've learned that the hard way, is to think like a caveman when I'm doing stuff. For, you know, when I'm creating a user interface, or when I'm creating videos especially, because I have learned that I have to explain everything in great detail. Otherwise, there will be somebody out there who won't get my video and they will hate it, and then that's their experience of me. That is what they experience. As far as, you know, I go in their minds, like I'm forever tainted in their minds as like somebody that they don't understand, somebody that they don't like. And there's been a lot of those videos that I've done like that, and a lot of times I think like, oh, this is hilarious, like people are gonna laugh at this, people are gonna, you know, they're just gonna be so entertained by this idea or whatever. And then it ends up being that they don't understand anything that I've said, anything that I've done in that video, and then they end up hating it, or they end up saying like, why did I even subscribe to this guy, or why, like, how did I get to this video? And that's something that I don't really want happening for people. I just want them to understand what I'm saying. So I've also made music, like a lot of times in a lot of my music will have like lingo that only some people will know. Like only some people will know, you know, what it means to spawn trap, or what it means to like to do something in a certain video game, but they won't understand what it is unless you put up a visual of it. So, you know, that's something that I've learned that, you know, other people do that do a lot better than I do as far as like their channel goes. And I thought, you know, maybe that's just because at first I was like, man, people just don't like good music. And for me, when I realized that it's not that they don't like good music, it's that they don't understand it. They don't understand what's going on in the video to understand or to be able to relate to it. They don't understand what's going on, and then all of a sudden you think that they hate good music, or they hate music that you enjoy. Come on. Or you think that they're hating on you because, you know, you have like a certain style, or because you have like a certain way that you do your videos or whatever. But really it's just that they just don't understand it. They can't relate to your video because you're doing something that's just beyond their comprehension. And it's also because of the way that you did your video. It's the way that you made the video. It's not the fact that they don't understand what's going on. It's the fact that you made their video poorly. And I did see this this article that illustrated that idea perfectly, and it was about this this incubator. Or actually, it was like this. Oh my God! Hold on. It was about this. It was this video that says "Designed for Humans," and it was basically about this guy who makes products, who's a product designer, and he designed this product that basically. Let me kill this guy. He designed this product that saved kids from that saved kids from some certain types of cancer, or actually no, it was I don't even remember what it's called. It's where you turn yellow. Anyway, just think of it like cancer. It basically just understand that it healed kids using ultraviolet light. So it was like these lights that you put on these kids, and then it would heal them. And the way that he designed it, like, it was perfect for one. You know, you can only use these certain amounts of lights to cure one kid. But the way that he designed the bed initially was that he designed the bed so that pretty much like it was really spacious, so there was like room for three kids. And when some of these poorer countries got this, they were putting 3-4 kids on this thing, and they weren't getting treated. They weren't actually getting healed from the machine because there was just too many kids, and there was not enough of that light that was hitting all of the kids, and they were just dying. They didn't understand, like, they're like, this machine doesn't work. It's just pointless light that's just not doing anything for these kids. So they, a lot of countries started banning it. Well, the thing is like, they designed that with the idea that there was gonna be training involved as far as using that light machine, instead of actually thinking about how people are going to use it. Imagine if every product, well, the way he described it was every product should be able to work the way you think it should work, just being a human being, just looking at it and being able to, without even having a manual, without even having training, you should be able to understand how it works. And the way they changed it, the way they started saving more and more lives, is that they made it so that the bed only fit one person. The bed only fit one child. You could only literally fit one child in there, and it wouldn't, you couldn't fit other people in there. You couldn't fit other kids in there. So it started working, and they started saying, this is a miracle machine, and people started to look at it, and also they started to look at it and say, like, hey, this actually works. And then they took it a step further in the second design, and they made it look pretty, because before, a lot of higher end, it was the best machine that heals. Oh my God. It was the best machine at that time that healed that certain condition, and no other machine could do it, not as well. And but no one was using it because it didn't look nice. It didn't look like a great looking machine. Like, it looked like a piece of crap. Like, it didn't look like it was it looked like a vacuum cleaner. It didn't look that awesome. It looked terrible. It looked like something that you would use to like clean like rags or something. You know, it just didn't look pretty. So what they did was they started to just change the way that it looked. That's all they did, and people started using it way more often. More and more hospitals started buying that one machine, and so that's one valuable lesson that I've learned, is that you have to design stuff for people. You have to design for them. Like, if you're making a video, you have to make the video for the, you know, for the general audience. You have to make it so that there can be no mistake as far as what you are talking about, what you are saying in the video, what you are trying to portray, and how you are trying to entertain them. So that way, when they go to tell somebody else, it is very easy for them to go out and say, hey, I like this video because of this one thing. Like, all they have to say is one thing. Oh, and I didn't even see that guy. He was blending in with that tree. And that has been a really tough lesson for me, because I've also seen this show called what is it called? God damn it, I wish I could remember these names. Like, anyways, this show, it's called The Pitch. The show is called The Pitch, and oh, I got a dog. The show is called The Pitch, and it's basically about these ad firms that, hold on, let me see. There we go. It's called The Pitch, and it's basically about these ad firms, and they all compete with each other for business. Oh, let's go. They all compete with each other for business, right? And they all have to pitch their ideas to these companies in order to win the pitch, in order to win that company's business and to do other stuff with them. So what they do is that they'll pitch their idea to, you know, whatever agency they're going for, whatever product or company they're going for, and then at the end they'll show like a documentary about what, you know, all the things that happened during that time, like how people came up with ideas, like the way that people worked on those things. And it's a really interesting show. If you guys are interested in advertising or graphic design or anything like that, you should go check it out, because it is really interesting to see, you know, how things work. And a lot of the times the people who win are the ones who do corny, like the stuff that I'd say like the new trendy stuff. People that do trendy stuff instead of stuff that actually works. The people who do trendy stuff always win. And it's like, why do they win? It's because they're designing their ad campaigns based on human experience, not based on what actually will work, but based on, you know, what those individuals will think about it. Like those individuals that are judging you, you're trying to win over for business, and you have to play the game. Like, you have to. And I think that the way a lot of advertising agencies work is that they will win the client over by basically winning over the person involved, or the people who pull the strings. They win them over first, and then they sometimes can influence them to actually do what actually will work, and sometimes they won't. If they don't do what actually will work, then what ends up happening is they'll have their business for a little while. They'll have the ad or the company, they'll have their business for, you know, 1 or 2 ad campaigns, and then they'll see that it doesn't work, and then they'll go back to the drawing board, and it's a huge waste of time. When really, if an ad firm actually sat down and thought about, you know, the user interaction and stuff like that, maybe they wanted to pitch and with something trendy, and then they go in and they go back and they change their entire ad campaign into something that actually works, then those are the ad companies that stay alive the longest. But I've noticed that a lot of times ad companies only last for, you know, 2 or 3 years. Their shelf life is only 2 or 3 years, because They don't have that. They don't have that ability to design for humans. They don't have the idea that you have to design stuff for people. When you make a video, when you make music, you have to make that music for somebody. Oh, and I didn't know how to sword. I mean, you literally have to you have to think like a caveman, literally. And you know, a lot of people don't understand that, and that is just the idea that I wanted to get across, because that's something I'm still learning how to do. I've I've struggled with it. It's really tough to accept, because you think like, oh man, like somebody that does rap music, say there's a comparison between Lil Wayne and somebody like who's a big name. All right, so Biggie, Notorious, yeah, Biggie. If you guys don't know what Biggie Smalls is, the rap comparison between Lil Wayne and Biggie Smalls. A lot of you guys who know hip hop know that Biggie Smalls is way more established, way more developed as a lyricist. Like, he can paint words in your mind and you will understand what he's talking about. He can literally like describe a scene in a movie, and it'll be better than the movie itself if they were to ever make it. It's because a lot of times he speaks from straight up experience, and you say like, oh man, this is amazing music. And at that time, that's what people loved, because it was fairly new, and they were at a level of skill and lyricism and poetic abilities that, you know, that was accepted, and that was at that time, that was what humans loved. And then you listen to somebody like Lil Wayne, who says, you know, stuff that it doesn't give you that same feeling, but it sells way more records, and you're like, why? And maybe it's the beat, maybe it's this, and it's a whole slew of things. It's a whole like orchestra of stuff that happens in order for him to make it seem like, you know, it's so easy. And really, I'm sure that he probably would want to do, maybe he doesn't, who knows, maybe he would want to do something that is way more lyrical like Biggie Smalls, but he knows that if he does do something like that, people aren't into that right now. People are into stuff that, like what Drake does, you know, like they're into stuff that that is really simple and really catchy. And me, when I make videos, I have to realize that too. Like, people aren't into that, you know, super crazy high end stuff. And I mean, I think like more stylized stuff, because it only fits a certain group of people, and then it's like dead. So if you want to design stuff for the average person, you have to think in a very, very basic, simple terms. You have to think like, I am doing this for a caveman. I am making this video for a caveman. I am writing this comment for a caveman. And when that actually sinks in your mind, and when that actually comes to, you know, when you actually understand that to the fullest, when you actually make things simple for people to understand, so there's no way that they can't understand it, then you will be much more successful with whatever you're doing, whether you're writing something for school, whether you're drawing something for your friend, or you know, if you do something that is you know, I don't know what you're doing, maybe you're in school. If you try and, instead of trying to do the most, you know, the craziest thing out there, that say you have a science project, instead of doing some crazy ridiculous science project, like trying to figure out like how some electronic gizmo works, instead of trying to create like a voice changer or something like that, and you just work on a volcano, you'll get a much better grade, for one. Because, you know, the volcano is what everybody does, when at least that's how it was when I was in school. The volcano was like the biggest thing, and then people would get better grades than me, and I was doing like crazy stuff for, you know, I made this one like sound recording device from like just parts that I bought at Radio Shack, and also I was also doing all this research to create that stuff. And then this girl who was in the science fair with me, she actually won right along with me, and she had a volcano, and I was like, and that, I guess that was just like, that was foreshadowing for what I would learn in the future. But still, like, it just, even my mom and my dad were mad. And now I understand it. Now I understand why that works. Now I understand, like, why that girl won, and there's no hate for her. I understand, like, why there are people in this YouTube community, they're like say White Boy 7th Street. People say White Boy doesn't do this, blah 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 blah. And I looked at his videos and I started to assess them, and I put them besides like somebody else that other people enjoy, somebody that who does a lot more with their videos. And I started to see why his videos are so successful. It's because he actually has very simple concepts for you guys to understand, and it reaches way more people because way more people understand it. And if you build stuff that way more people will understand, even if in a small sense, like if you create very simple things but you do them extra well, then people are gonna enjoy that. And that video I was talking about, the guy with the sushi, like, he's been making the same dishes, the same sushi cuts his entire life, but he learns very small details that makes that sushi so much better every time he makes it. Every time he makes a piece of sushi, the same piece of sushi, he wants it to be better than the last one that he made, and he wants it to be better than the best one that he's ever made in his life. Also, there's another quote by Bruce Lee who says, "I do not fear the man who knows 10,000 kicks. I fear the man who's practiced the same kick 10,000 times." And that's the same idea. It's the same idea of making things that are extremely simple for people to understand, extremely simple for yourself to understand. And the more you practice that one thing, the better and better you'll be at it. And for me, like, that was one of the biggest lessons I've learned this last year. And I guess that's just what I want to tell you. I don't know if you guys understood what I was talking about. I jumped around a lot, and there was also some parts where I was getting attacked by creepers and all these skeleton guys. But I think that is a good place to stop. I hope you guys have an epic day, epic night. If you guys enjoy Minecraft, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys reached this far, write in the comment section, write Sand Beach. There you go. Write Sand Beach, and I will know that you guys watched the entire video. Anyway, I hope you guys have an epic night, epic day. Let me know what you guys think. Peace out.